As expensive as Chick-fil-A is, I know she wants her food. Right?
That's good stuff.
Man, did you get water?
Yes. Thank you.
Hey,
David.
I'm ready.
David.
Hey, we ready? We got Barbara come lately.
You're right on time, Barbara.
Barbara come lately. Did you see the red jacket, girl? All right, let's go.
Trying to run in here myself.
No, he's not here.
And I won't be here the next meeting.
Neither will I. Right. We need 3. Shh. Shh.
Good evening and welcome to the August 9th work session work meeting. I'd like to take a moment to call the order and Dr. Robert.
Mr. Freeman? Here. Mrs. Gator?
Here.
Mrs. Moon? Here. Miss Mitchell?
At this point, we'll please stand for pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, so let's see everybody. Welcome to the folks that are in the audience. It's so nice to see your faces. Welcome to our meeting. At this point in time, can I please have a motion on the floor to approve item 1.3, the agenda for the August 9th work session board meeting?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item 1.3 on tonight's work session, approval of tonight's agenda for August 9th, 2023.
Second. Moved and seconded. Mr. John and Dr. Rock, the agenda stands as is.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Rock, please roll call.
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Miss Mitchell?
Yes. Motion passes 4-0. Before we go further in the agenda, I do want to take congratulations to Mr. Ray Freeman for the recent induction to the high school football hall of fame. He has on his jacket. And also he has a really nice trophy here. Show it to the audience.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, I heard. And
Call me Crazy Ray. Thank you.
Yes. Before that, I'd like to just give a construction update real quick. I would like to, we had an important construction meeting today, and I want to just share what we were told today. So everything is going as planned. As so far, there is some adjustments though. So our staff and faculty will have access to the building starting on next Monday. So the 14th, our principals can go in, and then on the 15th, our staff can go into the building. The building is not, there's still a lot of work to be done. We will not receive the keys on Friday. We were supposed to receive the keys on Friday. There's been a delay in getting the cores, the new cores and keys for the building. So for the next, until those cores and keys come, the construction company will still hold the building per se. We won't have full access. Well, we will have full access, but we won't have full access. Meaning the building will close about 5:30 or 6 o'clock every day. Won't be able to stay at night and so forth. until the last week in August. We anticipate that we will get the keys around August 30th, August 31st. Then we'll take full takeover of the building at that point. Want to remind everyone that construction will continue all the way to November. When I say that, that means that the parking lots in front of the school have to be constructed. They will still be working on the parking lots in front of the school, and we won't have full access, or it won't look like it will until probably mid-October, late October. That next thing is that the old science hallway, if we had to start school today, 4 classrooms we won't be able to use because of they don't have a step. They have to now just remember they extracted the old building from the new part, and they have to install some steps for egress so that people can get out. Those steps, if those steps are not there before school starts, then there's 4 classrooms that won't be usable because of egress. The amount of students that will have to go out one way, one door is too many. So we'll be monitoring that. I've already talked to Principal Saunders about if that's a possibility, but adjustments she will have to make. And in reality, it was either stay at John Dewey or move. We elected to move because it's in the best interest of the students to move. It's in a better place, better situation. So we're making the move there. So when that gets fixed, then the middle school will have total access to their floor. But at this time, we're gonna prepare for the worst, but we're gonna expect those steps to be there. Tomorrow, I know we have a professional development plan, but we have a big meeting to determine how people gonna come in and out the building, like teachers, staff, parents, and buses. Because of the lack of parking lot in the front, we have to determine how this is going to work. So I will be working with the city also, because we're going to need some assistance getting everybody in that building. Northfield between 7 and 8 o'clock, and between 2:30 and 3:30. We're going to need help because, again, it's not traditional. We don't have a parking lot in the front that can take in everybody like it could before. And we got this early childhood center across the street too. That's gonna be people coming and going too. So with that, we're gonna do a staggered start with the middle and high school. Starting like the first day of school would be 6th graders and 9th graders only. We need to see the least amount of traffic and see how things look. Next day will be 10 through 12 and 7 and 8. And then on Thursday, everybody comes. So every day we hope to learn more lessons about how to get people in and out the building and so forth, so that on that Thursday we should have a smooth day. So with that, we still have the Tiger Den. The stadium is almost complete. The only thing left in the stadium is for them to put the track in. They had to let the current cement cure for 20 days. After those 20 days is up, they'll we don't know when they're gonna lay it, but they're gonna lay the track out, which we don't need until the spring. But they'll put the track. The goalposts are up. Pretty much everything is up. On this agenda, we added another 550 bleachers. The rationale behind that is that the visitors bleachers are small. They only accommodate like 350 people. And speaking to our band director, people come with 100, 200 people bands. We don't have any place for a band to go or a visitors band. So while we have the funds, we purchased these portable bleachers that can be used at the football stadium and also can be moved to the baseball field if necessary, or any other field that we have if we want spectators. So they're versatile, and we'll move them around wherever it's necessary. So what we're trying to do is get everything in place before school starts. But we are going full speed ahead. Both schools have been moved into the building. Starting next Tuesday, they'll start the unpacking and getting ready for the start of school. The only hiccup that we see is possibly that second floor with the middle school. And we're prepared. We have early child learning centers that can be kind of converted into classrooms. So we have some spaces that can be used.
So, Mr. Jolly, for today, what percentage of the interior of the school is complete?
I would say like 99%. The only place that's not done right now, they're just like going through painting things that they messed up, correcting things like might have been a electrical socket that wasn't working, fixing those things. But the inside is about 99%, with the exception of that doorway.
Oh, okay, for the science.
Science room. Now there's some work that has to be done in the gym where they're changing out the bleachers for a different color, and they're putting 2 scoreboards up. Those have not been done, but we anticipate they'll be done before September also.
Oh, okay.
So now they're laying sidewalks laying sidewalks, so that we have pathways. Now the pavers, we sold I think about 140 pavers. The pavers will not be placed in until the landscape is complete. So we anticipate it to be in August, but it's going to be a little longer. They said maybe October. Once they complete all the sidewalks and landscaping, then that'll be the last thing that they pop in. Also, behind the school, there's a walkway, which there's some more pavers with like the Warrensville logo, and that'll be placed in what is it, October. Yeah. Like October also. So there's a lot of external work that has to be completed, but the internal is done, and we will be bringing the kids in, the staff in on the 14th, and then we will be preparing for the September 5th. So I'm over there every day, meeting with them, monitoring, walking, different times of the day. And from that, we pray that we do. The Early Childhood Center, that we will move the belongings on the 18th, 17th, and 18th. And it should be ready to go on the 21st of this month, with the exception of the signage and the parking lot. And the bridge, we'll probably have to embrace that in the spring to get the bridge in place. We are requesting a special meeting next week to approve the parking lot. There's a bid process with the parking lot that's underway now. The bids come in on Tuesday, and the sooner we can get the board to approve, the sooner they can start. The parking lot is in bad shape, and we want to get the parking lot done as soon as possible. We do try to time everything around our board meetings, but this one was just out of we had no control over the bids and the timing and the dates. So that's why we are requesting that just a vote on that parking lot. So that concludes my report on the buildings. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
When you said the cores, you're talking about the actual keys to lock the building. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. We're talking about the locks and the keys. Right now, the construction lock and keys are there, and they don't have the permanent ones. So, in speaking with Doug, it's not wise for us to take over the building with the construction cores. So we will wait until they get the cores. When we did as they were sharing, we did the Early Childhood Center. It was a little later, and we got them we didn't move in there until like November. So we had a few months for any hiccups that happened. But in this case, we don't have anywhere for the kids to go. So we have to go in. We don't have any choice.
So we'll get the keys for the high school.
And middle school.
August 30th.
August 30th. That's what they.
But the original date was when?
Friday. 14th. It's the 11th. So that is the update. Any questions? I will keep you updated via email, text message. I'll keep it. Things happen. I always keep sharing them with you. But we're gonna stay on top of it and make sure things.
Everything's go for 14th.
Yeah, everything's going. are still able to have the tours of the building. So the seniors on the 16th, well, we'll still have that tour and walk you guys around the building.
Okay. Just so you know, I got my flyer in the mail today.
You did? Good. So we're gonna still, everything is moving forward. I mean, it's just gonna be a little messy with construction. That's it. Yep.
Thank you for the update, Mr. Jarlin.
So next up, we have our high school and middle school team that's going to come up also with our security, director of security. They wanted this morning to discuss yonder. Last year we had this conversation like in January, December. We had some community meetings. We had one meeting about it, which was the parents were very supportive of the yonder program. And this is a program in which students will be given pouches when they come to school, and their phones will have to go in the pouch for the entirety of the day. Then upon dismissal, they will get their phones opened up. I would like to give credit to Ms. Salters, who's been very adamant about the need to have yonder. She can share more about her concerns, which I value, which I have forgot all about yonder. And she made sure that she reminded me about it to ensure that this happens. So without further ado, the high school and middle school team. We'll start with the video, and then we'll have Ms. Bishop and Ms. Salters up to discuss it. All right, you can start it, David.
Ask a teacher, they'll tell you cell phones are still an issue and a big classroom distraction.
And now thousands of schools around the country, including right here in the metro, are taking back those classrooms with a small cell phone pouch.
Today, 95% of teens have access to a smartphone, and 45% self-report that they're online almost constantly. Smartphones have penetrated all aspects of daily life, but of special concern to educators is their prevalence in schools. The average kid gets their first smartphone at age 10. That's 5th grade. Most will open their first social media account within the next few years. But some schools are beginning to question the wisdom of allowing kids to enter the classroom with tiny computers and social networks in their pockets. These concerns, along with the general annoyance of phone-gazing concert goers, led 32-year-old Graham Taboni to build a device called Yonder. Users drop their phone in, the pouch locks, and can only be reopened with a large magnet. So you come in through the door, and you open the pouch.
Get our phone out, make sure it's powered off on airplane mode, all that.
Put your phone inside, and you close it, and throughout the day, you can't open it.
For me at first, I didn't really like it.
Pouch? Seriously?
I barely came to the school. They just started doing the Yonder thing. And I was like, oh my. Why? Everyone was realizing that they weren't actually getting any work done. Their school was like declining because of the phone use.
So this is phone usage per day before Yonder. How many messages did you get? How many times did you check social media? How many hours did you spend on your phone? How would you describe these numbers?
Big. Surprising.
Excessive.
A little too much. I mean, like sophomore year, I tried to get my followers up like every day, just check my followers constantly.
You're just constantly comparing yourself to other women on your feed, and it definitely takes a toll on your self-image.
I got more focused and worried. My grades went up.
I was sitting alone, and I saw this other kid across from me who was also sitting alone, and he pulled out my phone. So I went up to them and I introduced myself, and actually met someone new.
3 days later, I was just like, what are we learning today? Because I can't even open it.
Less distracting, and honestly happier, kind of, because I'm not worrying about what's going on social media and interacting way more. Like, instead of being on the phones and having earbuds in and not interacting with people, a lot of people aren't interacting with people, getting to know other people.
The atmosphere is somewhat positive. I'm always used to having it right here, not having it for 8 hours throughout the day. It changes you.
Amazing moment happened with him, and then everybody who was there all put up their phones and were filming the moment. Nobody was in the moment. Everyone was documenting the moment. You want a break from your phone. You don't even realize it.
Right. No.
You want a break.
adults have a hard time watching a comedy show without the distraction of their phone.
We all need a break just from that technology, just for a minute.
Hey, we trying to have a good time tonight. Let's go, baby. No, it's not. But it's still a good though. I'm trying to autograph for your fans. Gotta do it in the penthouse. That's why I can't rock in. Cause you can't dance, ain't got rhythm. But you got a man, I'll see with him. Put your phone down, let's get it. Forget your Instagram and go to it.
Right. Also, before they come out, I'd like to thank Miss Bishop because when we discussed it, she was all in for the high school to be part of it. Also, as we try to build this team concept of getting everybody together, it's very important that that building is working in accordance with each other. So I just also want to recognize her commitment to doing it also. Last year we did have some concerns with starting it off in the middle of the year, but I believe with both our leaders believing in it and wanting to do it, we will implement it with fidelity. So without further ado, we have both our leaders come up and our assistant principals and security so they can walk you through how it's going to work and so forth.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Okay. I'm Mrs. Salter, principal of Warrensville High School. And just from some of my experiences and observations from the past 2 years, my phone has increased tremendously. And even an agreement with the video, as an adult, it's hard for us sometimes to control our use. But in the being in the school setting and students not always making the best decisions at the time, I feel that they want to do things that's, in the time with friends, and they are concerned about being going on outside of school, which is understandable, but it is causing more of, let's see what's going on, let's see how fast we share information. It's not efforts to bring the school environment to a place that we want it to be at with high expectations, students paying attention, being involved, being creative. I mean, the phones are just taken away from that. They're not creative. They don't have to think real hard. They can, everything should be instant. And just seeing that kids want instant gratification or, instantly, I'm mad at somebody now, 10 other kids know. So now we got a lot of messages going on. One thing that it's doing is it's spreading like wildfire so fast. We can't physically run around and keep up with this. And even if we get, I've had instances where I had kids together, speaking with them, trying to get some about what's issue going on. And I literally will have 10 phones on my desk, and I'm reading messages that happen on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and to walk into the building throughout the day. And my goal is for my students to be educated. I'm spending way too much time investigating phone messages, and you all are spending way too much time on your phones. So it is a huge concern academically. It's also a huge concern for safety because so many things are put out online or threats made or bullying. Those are some of the concerns that I've heard or been involved with regarding phones. And even once we got our parent meeting, it was fresh air to hear so many parents support it because I have had interactions where I've had parents who behind what we want their child to always have that access. But like I said at the beginning, students don't know when is the time to shut it off. It's even been instances where they are combative about turning it off, giving it up, not bringing it. I've had meetings with parents where I can suggest phone at home, like we really would not have any issues if the phone was not involved. And sometimes I do get, the support, and then sometimes kids are kids, they find the phone. I've had parents say, I took the phone, but they got the phone, so, and I know it's a security blanket at this point. So researching Yonder and speaking with them last year, it seemed more appropriate because kids at the end of the day, they want their phone. And I totally get and respect that kids, in school, they may do sports or they may have to walk to the library or to another school because they're citizens, their parents don't be in contact with them. And that's perfectly fine. But it's just time. So having that pouch, will make sure they are involved, engaged after school day, and that they keep, at forefront, but it will also make sure the students know they have their phone in their possession. Parents know they need to contact them after school hours, when they're, transferring from home to school or wherever they go, that they can contact their child. But the best efforts for, Warrensville to go in a direction that we are going to believe that the phone is just one of the things, not the total answer, but it's one thing that definitely helps students.
So good evening, everyone. When we had this conversation, I wasn't against Yonder, but I wasn't 100% for it either, because I know what can happen, especially at the high school when you start taking them. But I didn't understand that the phone is still in their possession. So it's not as if we're taking all the phones and we're putting them away somewhere and they get them. So the students still have their phones. That cuts down on having teachers have to now say, give me your phone. I'm not giving up my phone. Let me have your phone. Put your phone away. It just stops a lot of the unnecessary conversations that happen. I will say one thing I observed at the high school, because our policy said that they could have it in the hallway and in the cafeteria, kids were standing in the hallway, not going to class. And I'm like, what are you doing? I haven't finished this text message. No, now you're 5 minutes late because you're still doing that. So they will always find a way around it. And I think with Yonder being able to implement that campus farm, then it's not a parent saying, they don't make me go to the high school. Oh, they don't make me go to the middle school. This is campus wide. What we want to do and show in uniform, we have one team, and get the focus back on learning and not on that. I'm going to let Mr. Perry talk about how many times, just in reference to students sending text messages, yeah, what you said that, meet me in the bath, and then they go to the bathroom, and they fight. So I was like,
Yes, I know you guys are playing us. I would say I'm playing as just running around the school, staying with each chunk of time, but it would take just from the cell phone. Just want to say we have teachers that know the school. But in order for us to move this field and where we want to go, we have to have everybody on board. As far as everybody needs to first have I don't know as I got it, but I'm also going to be able to phone. I had to go out to Oak Village, get a phone. I have no problem with the phone. I can go with the teacher, get the phone, but that takes time out of the day. I just want to say to you guys that I kind of monitor acronyms use. I know they're doing the institute, and I create an article. And when I say, well, how is it going? If I get instituted, not at the beginning of the year last year, but at some point mid-year, it instituted with options. So I kind of try to follow it. And then so they are voting to add to more high schools in their district. I know it's a bigger district, but I just believe at this point, I know it's 2 3, but I also know you hear parents say, well, I can contact. You talk about my wife, she has some pros and cons of it. I said, I went to Shaw High School when it was probably 25 and 700 students. My parent got the contact. It happened. But this is a different time. We're talking about extreme events that we don't want to happen. But I believe that if we can really get our scholars in order, I've seen just with this office that thing we talked about so many incidents start on a phone. And let me say this: when it wasn't on our time, but guess what they do? They bring it back in the field. I had to discipline scholars who went on and did some cyberbullying even to each other or teacher. We made a joke. I did it to me. I had to do something. So I'm adamant. I love it. They talked about it last year. I was like, please let us have it. I did the properties on. I don't know. A couple years ago, Dave Chappelle was here. We made people. I went to that show and they had to put their properties, in there. And if you wanted to use your phone, you had to leave out. Exactly, Dr. Rocky. Leave out, go to the station. In order to go back in, you had to, put the phone back in the pouch. I love the show because of that. I wasn't distracted. I was watching the show. This literature was free. When we we all are, we leave here, we're probably all gonna be on our phone. Just what we do is what part we do right now. But when I heard, I hope that on the static. I mean, I don't say because the phones was there, we can do this phone. And that's just a portion of us to take that component out. Take that out. We gotta do better. And I'm not saying we didn't do better because they had a phone. There were times where when there was an incident, before I could get to the bottom, parents were outside. We were investigating, just getting to it. What do you want me to do? If somebody has texted you, and you're outside, I guess, Officer King, people, our security are trying to hold it down. But we just got to, you know more than I do. So you want to take all the excuses out. All excuses.
I have a quick question. And I'm going to say maybe because I haven't heard of the program, but how does the house prevent us from calling or using?
So it's sealed. It's actually when they put the phone in there, get all the names and that, they can't open it. So they go to one of the stations and it pops up.
Oh, okay.
So it's in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's excellent. That's still been for years ago. But again, I'm coming out of class and watching young houses run the phone. So this is actually a great thing. I just want to see the consistency. I want to see every teacher making sure that this is done.
So it's, let me say, it's not on the It's not on, because that takes place when they come through the system. When they come through the security check.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
When they walk to the door, we go over the house. Security gonna make sure these phones are in the house.
Good evening.
Fireworks have been coming. Initially, right now, they'll take the phone down because they can't go through that first other tenants. So do that, go to the house, get sealed on the back. After they go through that first and the other tenants. My question they will be that was it done the phone? Done the phone up. They have done the phone. Well, they're still going through that first so we'll be testing. So speaking as a safety and security issue, I mean, how do you go pretty much everything about this program that I'm very excited about. I've seen firsthand where cell phones start and finish off distance. I would say 90% of this is on social media. I've seen ladies walk that I have learned because they were playing very cafeteria stuff. Now, my team, they got to go to the cafeteria. I don't know what's on the phone because they just got the day. This is the day. So, it is going to, I mean, that is, they're going to go crazy, but we have to stay consistent. We're ready. We're not worried about implications of what's going to happen as far as violent crime. We got to take control of that. I'm from the same area that you are from. Right. So we're not on that bed, we're not we're not constant, we're not seatbelts and everything. I think this is something that we got to take back.
And I will say too, as far as you mentioned about consistency, this is why you see us here now. I think this round is probably for assistance a lot of times. But this is why we're all here tonight, because it is something that we're going to be consistent on. Not many of you all know, I was a high school principal before. I know what it takes to do that. And I also know that I'm very firm, very consistent. So if it's that way on day one, it's going to be that way on day 1. There's no excuses in regards to that. And I know the other high school team, we've had that discussion that it doesn't matter if this kid, you got a soft part for them and they just get no is no, all means all. That's how we plan.
Okay, we have another question.
Yeah, I got 2 questions. So I'm thinking about what happens, heaven forbid, how how would a situation like that impact our students if they don't have access to their cell phones to say, hey, mom, I'm okay? You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about emergency situations. How would they get it?
Really communication. And really communication. People say that that's about the parents. It's really responsible.
In a mass kind of place. So, you know, in those instances, like in other places, this kid may have contacted their mom before my kid contacted me before that. So now, instead of it just being crazy and getting all mixed messages, everybody. And when we reach out to our security, or our first line always has a patient, we are contacts. And he immediately contacts our person, communications person. It immediately goes right out. So it's not as if, you know, parents can get on, and I know, we've talked about all of that. That a parent's gonna say, I want to be able to get in contact with my kid. Okay, but even in that situation, when you have multiple parents running up to a school and it's an emergency situation, they can also bring themselves into a really bad situation. So we take control of the narrative as far as communication. We take control of as far as putting everything back out there. That's on us in the field. And that's something that we're familiar with.
And if I can, real quick, to share how that does work, my son was in Eastwood when 9/11 hit and did not have a cell phone. And we knew immediately that with everything going on in the area, we knew we were under safety protocols. The school communicated with all of the parents, and we were told, do not come to pick the kids up until XYZ time, because they had done everything they could to make sure the children were safe. And to the same point you shared, Captain, they wanted us to be safe as well. So it does work. It does work.
And I guess someone spoke to what I was going to ask. So we already have protocols in place to make sure that different emergency situations happen.
Yeah, so we have code red, code blue. No, methods. Yeah, that's all in place.
Regardless of all this stuff, we still have any. So like I said, we all get this our first step. It's the first thing that we do. After that, we get our marching orders from.
So one of the things that we don't have to ensure is that our secretaries are answering the phones. That's crucial, because the parents are going to call, they can't reach their child, and we have to answer the phone. So that's one of the challenges that we always have to man our offices and make sure that the phone is being answered. Because that would be the first thing that a parent would say is that I call the office, nobody answers. So we have to do that.
In the hallway and said, oh, my mom. So I just actually opened another door inside the office. And I was just anybody who was calling call from the school. Like, they asked the school number, like, we don't stop shit when we get a call at all. Because it could be, you never know what's going on with their family members, their relative or whatever. And they want to, parent want to make contact with them, or the child want to make contact with their parent. They may need to know what's their directly store after school. They welcome you to find as well, so they don't have to.
No, we were waiting on this board meeting just so you guys can hear about it, and then we'll move forward. We'll move forward with getting them tomorrow. About 19,000 for 1,000. It's 1,000 of them. Yeah. So they had about 450 in the middle school, about 550 in the high school.
So have letters went out to the parents aware of this new program that they want?
No, the letters will be coming this week. Yep. We wanted to talk to the board first.
I have one more question. This is really for the board. So from a policy perspective, we should be good, or do we need to include language in the policy that states this is what we're doing?
guess my question back to you is that policy or is that protocol? Is that the guidelines that the district?
I'll have Donna look at it. We do have a policy, but I'll have Donna look at it just to see if we need to pass on.
I thought the policy did state they're not to be used during the school
It
day.
did say that.
It just doesn't speak to this more modern technology to stop the kids.
It's just a question. I'm just putting it out.
No, and we understand. It's just we're just discussing it right now.
No, I don't agree with you. I think Donna needs to look at it. But 6 years ago, the great Mrs. Dunning had something similar to that. She just had a yellow phone book, and she had about 40 phones I was presenting. She made every single one of her scholars put that phone in the pouch, and it went well. And she had pushback like Chief Larissa. Yeah, the girls didn't want to give up the phone. So you get out of my class if you don't give up that phone. They gave up the phone. They put 40 phones in that yellow pouch at home ec. I did my presentation. I didn't have not one person interrupt me or one person looking for a phone because as all of them said, I mean, it gets time consuming. I know as an adult, I get tons of emails, and you do too, Tracy. I'm like trying to, okay, who's this? I gotta get back with somebody. So I like it. I think it's good. If they can concentrate on their lessons, I'm down for it. I would definitely check with Donna because we may have a parent that challenges on some of this. They're like, are you taking my?
Yeah, they might challenge us. Yeah. Yeah, the policy do say they can't have phones during school. This does apply to that. It's just another way to enforce it, but I'll verify with Donna.
We're not taking them. Nobody has possession of their phones. No teacher is taking their phones from them. It's still in their own possession. It's
Just locking it down. Just locking it down.
But that also stops the school from being liable. I have a situation at another school where a teacher took the phone from a student and ended up going home with the phone looking through.
Oh.
Don't want any of that. We don't want someone saying, she took my phone and now I don't have. So now you have your phone. It's in your possession. It's not operating.
What if they lose it? Is it numbered some kind of way or tagged some
The
kind of way
bags.
so that we know that this pouch is for them?
It's not a personal pouch. It's right. Every day they get a different pouch. Because it's not, they don't get a pouch and you get to keep it and take it home. They have to turn it in at the end of the day.
Okay. So now I'm thinking sanitizing. Are we going to be doing stuff like that?
So those are all things that we're going to encounter and deal with. We haven't thought it that much through, so we will do what's necessary. I think if it has to be we got like a lot of washing machines in our school. We got a lot of options. Yeah, I agree. We have to figure it out. Sanitize them, spray them every day.
When I walk into the school, I'm going to put my phone in the pouch. The pouch going to still be with me.
Yes. So I'm walking through, I'm coming through. I'm going to give you an example. Sometimes I'm a visual, right? So I'm coming through, I'm at the high school. Here's the scanner. You have to put your phone down anyway because you can't go through the scanner with your phone, okay? Here we have our pouches right here. I pick my phone up, put it in the pouch. It locks. I put my phone back in my pocket or my purse or my whatever. And I have it all day. At the end of the day, when I walk out, beep, it opens, I drop the pouch there.
So it's no problem with someone accusing the other person. That's my pouch.
No, because it's not a personalized pouch. Okay. Your phone is in the pouch that you have for that day.
Responsibility. Keep up with it. Put it in your book bag.
One quick question that which is made me think of. How many unlock stations? Okay. Sure.
They would say about 4 or 5 per school.
Okay. That's all. I just wondered, like, if they need to. Okay.
So I do anticipate we probably will have some people at our board meeting in September, possible. But again, we're gonna do what's best for students. Again, we're moving to a new school. We need a new mentality, new mindset. We need our kids there focus on learning, not focus on garbage, but really focus on learning. And I think the DeAndre was a good first step. for us to get that going. As Mr. Perry said, a lot of issues, drama, things come from these phones. Even this summer, we had some drama with phones. This summer, people texting and threatening people and all those things. And you know, people have options. I mean, Warrensville has a dress code. If you don't like dress code, you probably should go to another school. Warrensville has yonder now. These are things that our district has adopted, and people, if they went to another district, they would adapt to what the district's expectations are. And I think that for our district to hold high expectations for student achievement and student behavior is good. I don't think we should lower our standards or lower our expectations because people get mad and don't want to do it. Because in another sense, they say you ghetto, y'all don't care, and all those things. That's the next breath when you don't have expectations, you don't have high standards. Then people want to talk about you ghetto and this and that. We're not ghetto. We have high expectations, and we are planning to go to the next level. The community has blessed us with $110 million worth of stuff, and we're gonna act like we got $110 million worth of stuff. So, and that's an expectation for our students to come in there and learn. That's it, because you guys provided them with second to none facility, with equipment, with materials, with everything. There's no excuses to say that we don't have. So the only excuse is if we don't hold them to a high standard. If we don't hold them to a high standard, then that's our fault. Because you guys, the board and the community's done all you can. What else could you do? Or give these young people what you gave them. And that's how I feel is that we have to hold that standard high, just like you guys have provided these facilities. They're the best of the best. And that's what we expect from our students, to be the best of the best. Not being walking around fighting and talking crazy and arguing and fussing. And some parents are going to come up here acting like that. And that is not our expectation. And they have choices. Just like we have kids that want to come here. Got a whole bunch of kids that want to come here that don't live in the district. A whole bunch. And they have to interview people to let them in. Some people don't make it, some people do. But at the end of the day, people want structure, and people want order, and people want their kids in a great learning environment. So I think that's what this helps us, propels us. It's the right time because according to the new building, and the expectation is there, and it's fair, and it's gonna be the same for everybody. It's not we gonna show favoritism and say, "Oh, Ray can have his phone, I can't." That's not gonna happen. So I just think the timing is good right now.
And I just think it's an excellent program. You know.
So any other questions for our team?
You know, that all of our students should
Well, thank you guys. Now we're gonna expect the report. Y'all gonna have to report back in like November, December. You have to come back.
Thank you. Thank you, though. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Ready?
Yes, let's go.
Mr. Jolly. I'll also share. I was the only board member at that meeting. It was January, and the parents that were there was no pushback. Even the kids, the scholars that were there, they wanted to give the phones up because they wanted parents to stop calling, because parents were calling and texting during the school day. You got a hair appointment, or I think one young lady talked about her mother reminding her that she had to leave at such and such and such and such time to get her hair done. Who needs that distraction during the school day? So I think we'll have a small percentage of parents that will push back, but I think as soon as we can show how we have done what we did before cell phones to talk through emergency situations, you just have to go with it, because to Mr. Jolly's point, we worked hard to put these kids in state-of-the-art facilities so they can learn. We worked really hard to bring them where they need to be academically, and the phones do distract. And if you don't believe it, you look at your young people in the workplace, they can't perform because they're on their phones. So I wish I could do this on my job. And I'll just leave that right there. So without anything further, I say thank you. because I think cell phones are a horrible distraction. We're gonna move on into our consent agenda, and if we can please have a motion to approve by board consent agenda items 2.1 through 2.11.
Madam Chair, I move that we have
May I have a second? A second. Thank you both. Now, Mr. Jolly, I'm sure there's items here that you're gonna walk us through.
Yes, ma'am. So I do want to walk through 2.1. That is the replacement for Mr. McCants. That budget source is all wrong. That budget source should be Title I. For 2.1, it should be Title I. We can correct that for the record. We got additional money for that. That's a Title I. We were going to that's Title I. 2.2 is the resignation of Spanish teacher. 2.3 is the resignation of Miss Bridget Owens and Sarah Jones. I would like to publicly acknowledge we appreciate their service. Bridget, in particular, for over 20 years of service in our district. So publicly, we'd like to say thank you to Bridget for her service and wish her well on her next journey. 2.4 is, is hiring of replacement teachers for teachers who left in replacements. 2.5 is amended contract for Maya Gerstoffen. 2.6 is 2 substitute teachers for these teachers. They came in early and worked early to get our head start. That was Maya Gerstoffen and another young lady.
Is it Maya or Monique?
Monique, I'm sorry, I keep calling her Maya. That's her sister. I'm sorry. 2.7 is a long-term sub. 2.8 is our classified staff. I do want to highlight Megan Jordan, whose name was Megan Paul. She graduated from Warrensville also, who earned a job as a secretary 3. 2.9 is bleachers for the new middle and high school. 2.10 is the unused vacation day payouts. I do want to share that Dr. Rock's team have verified those numbers to make sure that they're accurate. I think they've been verified by him and another member of his team. And then 2.11, I'm pleased to recommend the promotion of Ms. Hunt to the Executive Director of School Leadership and Human Resources. In this role, Ms. Hunt will continue to lead our human resource charge, but also be responsible for our professional development of our central office staff, also corporate partnerships, and any other major item that the district needs at this point. Ms. Hunt has served the district for over 8 years and has done an outstanding job ensuring that our district has been fully staffed. She's managed our labor relations and helped all our contracts that we've had labor peace for 8 years. And those who've been here before can attest that there weren't labor peace, and we give her credit for that. So in this new role, we expect to see Ms. Hunt do some great things and leading us to the next level. We're providing our leaders with more better experiences and growth, and also bringing the corporate community to Warrensville. Without further ado, that concludes 2.11.
So, board, are there any questions, comments before we go to vote? Or after we vote, we'll invite Ms. Hunt up to say a few words.
Mr. Jones,
Yes, ma'am.
for all of the teachers that resigned, we have a replacement already, correct?
Ms. Hunt will have to speak to that if you can speak to. I think we're short maybe 2 special ed teachers.
make identification, so that it's just within the last 7 days. So we will have to start with the 217 and those ones. So other than that, we are pretty solid from hiring all of our teachers. So you see a few more names added to this.
Okay, so we have a new Spanish teacher already. Good job.
And this has been a tough hiring season because a lot of people got openings, and a lot of competition for these positions. So again, I think that for us to not have all those openings is a testimony to that department, and also to the district because people want to work here. They want to work here.
Yeah, it's not just HR, it's Warrensville.
Yeah.
People really want to come back to Warrensville. So that's a fantastic thing. I don't know which I would do.
And Mr. Gully, I'm looking at, one of the rationale for Ms. Hunt, and that representing the superintendent. And the representing superintendent, that's going to be one of the roles when Mr. Gully's not available. My question going to be, and I'm looking at her role and responsibility, but I want to know is, you know how you be at the school all the time? Is she gonna be able to step in and do some of that?
Yeah, so that is why she's in this role. The expectation is that she will be representing the district like at senior meetings and other important events that, of course, I have not been able to do at that. It's impossible to. I want to say nothing's impossible. It's been hard to be 20 places at once. So I do. I appreciate the board considering Ms. Hunt to take on some of this role and also some leadership role with developing people. I probably have about 20 people that report to me. And that's a lot along with running the district and ensuring everything goes well. So we will. Her task is to grow and help grow our leaders. Again, I think we do a relatively good job with it. I'm very proud of our retention of our leaders. We haven't had big turnover. We lose people. People move on to bigger and better things. Like, Dr. Reynolds went on to be a superintendent. Dr. Caver went to be a major CAO of a bigger district. It's 20,000 students. We got 1,800 students. So, of course, that's a natural progression. But what we have to continue to do is build from within so that when these people leave, that we have internal people who can move up. So I think that, and we've done that with a lot of our different hires. So we'll continue to do that.
I just have one thing to add, Madam Chair. And just watching Kenya over the years, I think she's doing a phenomenal job in HR. And I know on a month-to-month basis, there's someone who wants to work for Warrensville. And Kenya takes all those calls, because I know alone, maybe 10 people. I said, Kenya, I don't want to deal with them. I'm going to have them call you with John K. And she talked to every single one. Even if they don't get hired, they call back, they thank you, Mr. Freeman. And Mr. Jolly does a lot, you know this, Barbara, but I mean, today in our 3-hour meeting in construction, and man, he got to do other stuff. That's why, if I can, I'm always going to be there with you, because it's a lot on your shoulders. So, you need somebody to help him with some of this stuff. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so that's the conclusion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jolly. If there's no further questions or comments, then Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Miss Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 4-0.
All right, Ms. Hunt, would you like to say a few words?
We'd like you to say a few words.
Come on, Ken.
Congratulations.
I am honored to go into this new role and continue to serve and help take some of that weight off of his plate. So that he can be more in the school and more active. I can do anything to help him.
I need to hear that.
Congratulations.
The way I've always understood it is you've pretty much been his right hand, So
This is true.
Yeah. So
You do the work. Do the work. We always do.
We are very happy for you.
All right. Thank you so very much. Mr. Jolly, I know that we got a lot going on, and we said the postcard is hitting. Okay, so it's got all the dates. So would ask the community as well as the board members to please keep an eye on your mailboxes so that you can stay abreast of what's happening. There's a lot going on as we're opening the new schools. We're excited about what's happening here in Warrensville City School District. So please come out and join us at the various events. I hope everybody will come to the first home game on August 25th. Where are we playing?
Gilmore.
Gilmore. So
Return to school fair Saturday.
the school fair, return to school fair is this Saturday. It's at the
Early childhood center.
Yeah.
What time?
11 to 2. 11.
Okay. Is there anything that we can do to help?
Help us pass out the bags. Yeah, so we're gonna have a table with the bags. We just need your help to help pass them out.
Okay.
I do want to say that the funeral of Robert Brown
Saturday.
at, I believe, the wake is at 3:30. The student Robert Brown who graduated in 22.
22.
Funeral is tomorrow. It's Saturday. 3:30 is the wake, and the funeral's at 4. Yeah. So that's sad.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
Food truck.
Oh, yeah, and tomorrow is food truck Thursday, 11 to 2, here, right outside.
All right. If there's no further updates, if we can please have a motion.
I just got one quick one, Ms. Mitchell,
Okay.
please. The OSBA Capital Conference, we could register now. I was just gonna register for 6 because that's what we usually do. We get a flat rate. Plus, we're gonna be presenting this year, so I'm certain that we will have the board going, so I will do that. And then the meeting on next Wednesday, is there any ideas of the
No, I
time,
do.
or you'll
I
just
did
let me
want to
know?
get there, so thank you for bringing it up. Ray and Earl will be at UVA. Miss Barbara, you just said you won't be here. So
What day is that? The 23rd?
The 23rd.
Okay, yeah.
So we won't have a quorum. So we really won't be able to meet.
Can we do it
Okay.
early? Can we do it the day before or that Monday? If they've got a lot of stuff.
22nd,
We can go
21st.
to whatever day you need, y'all here.
I won't be here on Monday. When do you? I leave Monday morning at 6.
So we can't do the 22nd because that's city council. So the 21st would be an option. If we do the 22nd, we just can't do it in this facility.
We could go to the school if necessary.
The 21st is fine.
We could go to the elementary school if need be. We're ready to go there.
So either of those days works for me.
I will make it work.
Oh, so we can't do
What
the
day is it?
16th,
What
17th,
days?
18th,
No.
19th?
We're having the special meeting on the 16th. We're talking about our regular meeting on the 23rd because we will not have a quorum.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So we got a lot going on this month.
Yeah, we want to
So we'll
change the
need to
date.
change the date. So do we want to go with the Monday, the 21st?
We fine with going Monday.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I know you won't be here.
Since y'all have 4 on Monday.
Yeah, we'll have me and Earl.
And then the 16th, what time can we do it?
My only issue is I'm on jury duty and I won't know if I have to serve that
So
day.
do you want to do it? Just do it in the evening.
It has to be an evening for me.
Okay.
Because I just don't, and I don't know what time when Mr. Jolly first talked about it, I said 6 o'clock is probably the earliest I will commit to. 6:30 is safe because I don't know. I mean, I was called before and they never called me.
Right, that's typically what happens.
Yeah.
Go back to the meeting. Why not Monday the 28th? Everybody in town then, right?
I think Dr. Rock needs that before.
Push it to the 28th.
Does that impact your staff?
I was just getting ready to ask how does
No, I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, it won't impact anything. I mean, we got the authority to hire people, too early. So the 28th can work too.
Payroll purposes, it doesn't affect.
There's something going on the 28th.
What'd you say?
There's something going on. I'm trying to think what it is.
On the 28th. I know it's
Ray, can you make it on the 28th?
I got something. I don't know. I don't think I can, but I'll double check it tonight and let you know. But I don't think so. It's 28th.
Tentatively say the 28th, but then if he says something.
Yeah, you can tentatively put that on there, right?
We can make that work. That'll work for the board. We'll make the 28th work. And then the 16th with the 16th.
That's why we want to do 2 meetings next week.
Tracy,
No, in the evening.
Oh, I just gonna say, what in the world? Yeah, okay. I'm fine with either. And you,
Did they? Yeah.
you decide what you better for, you know.
I know, 'cause I can't do the church, like, excuse me, if I get called.
Oh, yeah, but when I was on jury duty, they had us out of there. You was out of there by 5 o'clock, come to think of it.
Right, but 5 o'clock coming from downtown, and downtown is busy again now.
Let's just do 6.
So if we can do 6, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, 6:30.
Should be real fast.
It's real fast after I said we could do it next week.
And then we go back on the 28th. Okay.
28.
So it's good.
What did you say on?
Monday.
You did say that, sorry. Yeah, I did.
Got it. So August 16th at 6:30, special meeting, and then move the regular meeting to August 28th on a Monday at normal time.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
And Madam Chair, we have our Urban Boards Alliance on August 24th and 25th in Chicago.
And then Cube is turning around and going back in.
September 12th and 14th in the same city. At the Marriott Marquis and we at the Sheraton.
I wish I could go to either one of them. I don't want to miss the
I don't blame. I didn't know we had that early.
Hate watch.
So the 16th is 30, the 28th.
16th, next Wednesday. No, we should.
But this is for productive purposes.
You need that phone.
Congrats,
I
Kenya.
pretty much shut my
Kenya, congrats. No, I'm gonna speak.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, if we could please have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
May I have a second?
I second it.
Thank you very much. The August 9th work